Let me share my screen. 1 minute. I don't know. So, Borzo, have you gone through like your assignment, whatever they have given?
Yes, I have. The last.
So, did you
Correct.
understand, or like, do you have some doubts, or like we will start from scratch? But I just wanted to ask, like how much you got to understand, because
Okay.
the assignment looks like uh, not much. It's pretty straightforward. Like few things are actually little tricky. Even I looked at it, but looks like step by step. And also like you can do few steps. If it's not working, you can try out different questions. So, right, like there are multiple questions that are given,
Okay.
and um, I think uh, this one you guys can also tell like what to do, because I think these are the things that at least few things we have covered, not if not all, right? So okay, so basically these four, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so these
Yes,
were
ma'am.
the four files that you sent, right? You guys sent to me. One was date table, right, in which we have mQuery. Other is instruction, where we have all the questions and basically instructions to
Hi all.
create.
Sorry.
Um, yeah. So instructions to create the dashboard. Third one is soccer player. So this is the data set that they have given. And fourth one is theme. So basically they want our dashboard to have this theme. Okay. So now I'll open the instructions so that like we understand what's happening. You guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so um, uh, they have, I'll quickly read out here. All data necessary for this assignment is included in the files attached to this assignment. Please ignore the special character in the player names and club names, as Excel doesn't handle accent marks properly. It is not necessary to complete all the requirements, but completing as many as possible is recommended. The report builder should import all data from the Excel file and attempt to complete as many of the requirement below as possible. It's possible to complete requirement using different approaches, so producing the most elegant, efficient, or correct solution for each requirement is recommended. Real datasets may include millions or billions of records, so the most performant solution without wasting space while completing requirement is strongly encouraged. Okay, so basically they have given the requirement. Please send the completed Power BI file back to the sender for grading. We'll start with the first one. First one is really simple. Import, and this one, this highlighted one, don't worry about that. I was highlighting it, these questions. So the first one is import all tables from Excel file named soccer player, right? So this is like very simple. Let me start the Power BI desktop. And then you guys can keep on telling what to do and I'll keep on doing. If you guys will get stuck, I'll help. Okay, let me. Okay, now so the first thing is import all tables from the Excel file names soccer player. What to do? Can somebody tell?
Get data or Excel. Since it's a Excel, you can pull it from
Okay,
Excel.
okay, I'll go under this. Okay. So let me. And also, it is mentioned that import all tables from the Excel file named soccer player. So I'll select all. Okay. I'll load this one because there are multiple transformation that they have given. So we'll do it one by one before. So right now I'm loading it, and then as required, we will transform our data. Okay, so we have these many tables. Now, if you go here in data model thing, so I see this is like very not readable format. So as discussed, we will have like all the ID and all these lookup table at the top, and rest player assignment and player table at the bottom. So let me quickly realign this one. So I'll have all the ID table at the top, which is the lookup table, and all the data table at the bottom. Okay. So now, why we have gotten like two table for nationality? Let me table player. Okay. Okay. So first of all, before going into these, let's see like what's happening here. We have nationality and we have table nationality, right? So it under nationality, if you see, we have 701 rows, and then there is duplicate table, which is table nationality, right? Again, we have table nationality, right? Here we have only 163 rows. Is it? Looks like this one is table club. 701 rows. Table club 701 rows. League has 55 rows. League has. So this one looks like the duplicate table, right?
Yeah, look like it. Yeah, that's what I found out.
Yeah, this one is like duplicate table. If you go to league, this one is 55 rows, and then here if you go, this one is 55 rows, right? And
Yeah.
then there are only 2 columns, and the data set, sorry, league, and the names are also pretty same. This is a duplicate, right? So what we will do, we will let me actually open the Excel ones. Let me see, do we have multiple tables over there?
No, they don't have. I checked.
They only have one table?
One table, yes.
Okay, then we will delete these. Like we will keep only one copy, right?
Okay.
So we will delete all these tables.
Delete or hide?
Sorry?
Do you prefer delete or hide?
I don't want these tables because this is a duplicate table, right? So why to keep it and like hide it? We can do that. We can keep it and hide it, but why to keep that? Because it is a duplicate information. So I don't want it.
Okay.
You can do either thing, but it will only increase the basically the space, what we call the size of the file. So that's why, like, I don't want this one because this is like duplicate information for me.
Yeah, that makes the relation table very easy to manage.
Yeah, because otherwise you see here what's happening is even if we hide it, like there will be multiple table. I can see it, right? Like I will hide it, but it will be not appearing over here in your report level table, report view, right? So then since it's duplicate, it's not giving any information for me. I will not keep it. What kind of table I'll keep and hide it, which I don't want to use in the report view, but it has some information which is not being currently used in my report, but it is like the separate information, not the same information, duplicated ones, right? That kind of table I'll keep and I'll hide it.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I have deleted all these. Uh, so then I have in total club, league, nationality, player, players, and position, 6 tables.
It's
Got
there.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, these are the 6 tables right here. Where in the Excel that they have given us.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So now we have like 4 lookup tables. See, it's easier to manage, right? Because
Yes.
now it's clearer. Like, what are we doing?
But
So,
the fact table of player assignment, it doesn't have any lookup table.
yeah, so we will see like what to do. This relation again, you remember like once we had a call and I told that this one Power BI itself look at the relationship and they create it. Now it's up to us whether we want to go ahead with that or we need to create on our own, right?
Yeah, we can delete that and we can drag, we can connect.
Yeah,
up.
so we will see like with which particular table we need to create the relationship. So all those things we will do. Don't worry about that,
Okay.
right? Okay, so now what was the first question? Import all tables from Excel file named soccer players. So we have done it, right? This looks little cleaner and then that is done. Now second question, add your own date table for handling the date of birth field. M language code for generating a date table is included in date table text file included with the assignment, right? So this was uh, actually this query they have given and we can directly use this to create a date table, right? So you remember us talking about like if we have a date table that is better because we can pull any particular column if we want to look at the start of the year or end of the year or start of the month, whether it's weekday, weekend, all those information we will get about one particular date. So it's preferred to have a date table in our data model pane, right? Or in our view here in the fields list. So now how to create this, how to use, basically the challenge with this question is like you should know how to use M language code to create a date table, right? Anybody has done this before or any idea how to do this?
No.
On a blank query.
About
And blank.
new table.
New table. Okay, so tell me step by step like where I need to go and then how to do it. Okay, so new table, from where can I take like look at the new table?
Actually, custom table first.
Custom table. Okay, 1 minute. So should I go to this particular view and then do it, or should I go to report view and then do it?
I think from the table
From
view.
add column and
From table name.
From the data view, or like we will be in the report view itself?
From the
And then
data view.
data view.
On query editor, if you open the query editor, and then you
okay.
can just write, you can write the M query on that as well.
So I'm in the query editor now.
Add column.
Add columns.
Yeah, and custom column.
Y column. We try to create a table.
Yeah, but that's the table you can insert the M language they already provide.
Yeah, so basically, like who was telling about the add column thing? Was it Burzo or Ben?
Yes.
Burzo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with add column, what will happen? Like it will get added here only, right?
Not only that, but it will give you, once you put it all those calculations and once you copy and paste, the M language, it will give you a data table by itself.
Let's do this. Let's do and explore this. So we will go to add column, and you want me to go to custom column?
Yes.
Okay. And then?
Okay. Rename it to date. Date or okay. After equal.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, it's not gonna work.
Yep.
No, it's not gonna work.
You're right. So what happens is using custom column, you were right, Burzo, like we use custom column actually to create columns using mQuery, that is right. But then this custom column, wherever you will go via add column, right, what it will do, add the column that is computed from the other columns. Fine. So this query, in this query, this will use the other column to create a new column, but then this will add a column in a particular table. See, under this, I am in player, right? So in player, we have these many available columns, and whatever you will create here, it will get added to this particular table. So again, like once you add, it will start showing one column at the below, which will called as date.
Okay.
Right? So we don't want this thing, right? We want a separate table to be created in which we will have like multiple columns. So what you can what will be the right approach? Create one new table here, and then if you want, we can do this thing one by one to add columns, right?
Okay.
Any question, anyone? No? Okay,
No.
so we will cancel this. This was not the right approach. Now we are here. Now what to do? Anyone?
I thought we would go to.
Okay, from
Let's go to the data view, the data
view
part,
Okay.
and we can start a new table, and then what if we create there?
Okay, fine. So under view, I need to go to new table. I can't see here new table. Which particular thing?
Note here, we have to come out of the query.
We have to come out of the query. Okay, 1 minute.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. And also, okay, sure. Like, let's try that also. And Burzo, don't worry about the assignment. We will get it complete. We will extend the call or anything. We will finish it within 2 days, right? But I want everyone to think, and then I will show it here. We will try all the approach, right? Because the more you will practice, the more you will get to know, right? So you will never forget now, like we can't go through add column and custom column. So that's why whatever now Ben, I think, is telling, we will try that also, like how to do and see like what's happening, right? So don't worry about the assignment. We will complete it before your day. Today and tomorrow, in these 2 sessions, we will complete the entire assignment. Don't worry about that. Okay. So let's close this one. We have not done anything, even though I do. Now I'm in this page. Now what to do?
The data view.
Data view. I'm in the data.
Oh yeah, and new table.
New table.
Okay, so we call it, instead of table, we call it okay, new table, and then date is equal to. So we call it date equals like add columns.
Date equal add columns.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we open bracket, and from that point on, we go to next row, and then we say calendar auto.
1 minute. Oh, sorry. I'll go to next row?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute.
No, that should be left open.
Oh, I can't go down.
You have to press Control Enter, I guess. Is it Control Enter?
Not working, I'm doing that only.
Okay.
Okay, we will
Or
see. Yeah, but what do you want to write
okay,
here?
what I was thinking was there just to write like, add columns, and then we already have that. And then the next one is going to be calendar auto and up bracket. After that, year, date, month, format date,
Calendar
something like
auto?
that.
This one?
Yeah, calendar auto, yeah.
What happens with the calendar auto thing?
It's going to give today's date. So open, close bracket and comma. And then year in quotation. At least what I was trying to do is the year, the month, number.
That's already given, Ben.
Yeah, so now
language.
correct. So
Yeah.
now
So
what we are using this.
Meha. Why don't we go back to the home, the first one, and get data and blank query? Let's start from there.
Okay, we'll do that. So the what is the problem with this approach, Ben, is whenever, just see here what they are saying, returns a table with new columns is specified by DAX expression, right? So we are creating a new table in which we will have new column, right? Now what is there in calendar auto? Calendar auto basically gives you like the if I don't close this one, it will show like what is it. Returns a table with one column of dates calculated from the model automatically, right? Now here you were telling like we will mention everything, right? But they have already given us is this the one? They've already given us date table. They've already given us the M query, right?
Okay.
So we don't need to do everything manually. We will not do this, right? So we will close this. This is not the right approach. I'll delete this thing, delete from model. You understood, right? Why we are not going with this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is not correct. What happened? Okay, we will see. This one, this arrow where it went. Okay, we will see. Can I drag it? No. Okay, let's go here. We will see what is happening over there. Yeah. So what were you saying, Barzo?
Okay, let's go to get data.
Get data.
And blank query.
Okay, blank query.
And now, what is that? Okay, advanced editor.
Advanced editor. Okay.
Now we can select and copy and paste here.
Got it. Let me do that. Let me actually copy paste everything. This is what they have given. Let me copy this here.
Okay, just rename it. Just give us on the right side. You can rename it to date table.
How they have mentioned date table, right? Date. Okay.
Okay.
And
now here is my question. How do we make this one to handle the date of birth?
Sorry, what is the question?
Okay, how do we make this date table to handle the birth date? I mean date of birth.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. This was the right approach. Barzol. You did it right. Now again, we will go to advanced editor. Now, what does it mean? Source is date 2018-11, right? So 2018-11 means that under date column, it will keep 2018 date starting from 2018 and I don't know till where it is 2018 and I think it's starting from 2018 and we don't have any value prior to that, right?
Okay.
So basically, if we want to include the date of birth in place of this, what we need to do is we basically need to see like what all, from where is it starting, right? So if I go under where, I think in player we have date of birth, right? No, we don't have it here. Under player assignment, I think. Yeah, here we have date of birth, right? So
Yeah.
what is the what all years we have here? We have from 1980
You
till
can check it out ascend, you can make it ascend order so you can see the first one.
this should be the first one only, right? Or let's do
yeah.
it. 1967 is the first one, right? And then if I do it again, the descending one. So 1967 till 2004 we have here, right? So what we will do, we will go here and then under view. So there are two things, right? Under view and then also you can go to advanced editor, right?
Okay.
So anyways you can go. Now this is there. What's happening is these are the two rows basically. They are defining like what should be the source and all the calculations, right? So now under source, we need to change this thing. Now what we have to write is, I had somewhere.
They require you.
Yeah, so there is one syntax that we can write like this also. Number from date 1967 and number from date 2019 or whatever you want, 2004, anything, whatever you want. So if we paste this one over there, what it will do, it will start from 1967, 1st January 1967. The first date will be 1st January 1967 and it will take till whatever date you want.
Okay.
So instead of this thing, we can have this. Where it went? This one, right? So what is the question? First, let's see that. Add your own date table for handling the date of birth field. M language code for generating a date table is included in the datetable.txt file included with the assignment. Yeah. So to basically merge the player assignment table with this date table, or like to get like the exact merge, we would need to change this particular part. So we will have this thing instead of 2018-11. Okay. Instead of that, we will have this. Now, one note under custom one, what is this? List dates, source. So what's happening, you know, source in place of source, it's taking 2018-11 and number from date time dot local now to number from source duration 1,0,0. So basically the starting point they have given, and then from this one actually they are calculating like till when. So from date, so source will be the first date, from date time local now, from like current time to source duration 1,0,0,0. So through this, I think that's why we have from 2000 starting from, I can't see, from 2018 till date we have, like if we let me do it descending. So till date 26/3/2022. So the starting point is, I think, 2018, because that's what we have mentioned. So what we can do, Barzo, is, or like everyone, maybe we can change the first date itself. Like instead of making change everywhere, just change the first date. The first date was 1967, right? Like the
Yes.
first date of birth. So we will just change this one 1967, and we will have everything in this table starting from 1967 till date.
Okay.
Yeah. So this M query is little tricky, like what's happening exactly, because what we usually do is we will keep on doing steps, and the M query will keeps on getting like added here, right? So to understand this one, if you want to understand like very in detail, we can have that session, or like you can read from your side also what all is happening here. So that's what is happening. Source is the first date that it will pick, and then from that first date, we are creating one column which is called custom one, and using that we are basically passing these things like take source, and then date time dot local now. So I think this is like the current time that we have uh, to number from source. So from this till today, I think that's how it's written. So from source, from the first date till local now till today, and then duration will be 1, 0, 0, 0. So that means, oh shit, I have to keep it. I'll do done. And then the 1, 0, 0 means like with one day gap, I think. So that's what is happening. 1 1967, then 2 1967, 3 9. That's how we have it here. So the third parameter that you have here, right here, this will define like what gap you want to have in your date.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what is happening using first two, and then these all are easy to understand, right? Like converted to table, that whatever you have made, that one is converted to table, and this is the M code. Then you have renamed table because we have renamed column, sorry, and then change type, inserted here. All of these are happening. So basically once you create that date field, whatever we will do, right? So see, if here it's column 1 to date, that's what it's telling. So we will see here everything will be changed. The first column name would be date, and then the type had changed, and all those added columns. So that's what is happening using all these M query, right? The converted to
the end year is 1967. So how do you fix that one?
Sorry,
The end year, the next one, you know, the start year is 67, and the same year ends. How do you fix that one?
so this is what we want, right? Like end of the year. So what will be the end of the year for this particular date? I think
current, or I think 19. We made that descending, and what was that? 1984.
1967 only, right? One minute, let me go here.
Yeah.
It's 1967, starting from 1967, right?
Yeah.
So I think I didn't get your question. What is the question?
No, the end of year.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be, you know, maybe today's date, you know, the current calendar, current day.
No. So what this column is doing basically, for each row, it is actually generating these columns. So see, like let's pick first row. Date is 1/1/1967. What is the year of this date? 1967. What is the start of year for this date? It's 1/1/1967. What is the end of year for this particular date? So it works row by row, right?
Okay.
So for this particular date, what is the end of the year?
31/12. Yeah. Okay.
Got it? What is the month? If you look at, let's go little down, then you will understand. This is like, see, 1967-26. So what do we have here? Year is 1967. Start of year is 1/1/1967. Because for this date, what is the start of the year? starting from 1st January, right? What is the end of the year for this particular date? 6/2/1967. This one is 31/12/1967, right? So we are talking about this year, 1967, and date is 2/6. For that, we have actually generated. If you go to month, you will see 2 instead of 1, because this is what we are seeing. This one is 2nd month, right?
Yes.
So that's how it's getting created. All the columns basically depends on the values that we have in the first column, in the date column.
Okay.
Okay. So we are, yeah, go ahead.
So based on the question, where are we now?
Okay. So what all we have done, we have imported everything. We have added a date table for handling date of birth field using the M language code that they have given in the assignment.
Just by changing the source, the initial dates. That's
yes.
it.
Yes, by changing the initial date, because they have mentioned date of birth, right? So we need to do little bit tweak, right? Otherwise, how it will work? So there are few things that they have given. There are some mistakes also that they have done in the question, but these are the things that we should think and then we should modify accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have not changed the M query, but then if you want to join your table with the date of birth column in another table, like half of the things won't match because it was picking from 2008 till date, and in date of birth column we had 1967 till 2004. How it will match? So to handle this date of birth field, we need to make sure that the date column that we have in the date table should have the value that we have in the date of birth field, right? So that's why we have made few changes in the M query. We have not changed anything in the entire query. We have just changed the range of the date or the starting point of the date.
Got it.
Yeah. So these are the two questions that we are done, right? So
Yes.
from this question, what all things you guys have learned?
So we just create a new custom date table. Yeah, and we make it able to access calculate the date of birth. Yeah, that's what we are so far.
Sure. Yeah, so basically 2-3 things that we started with and we ended up on this one is, the first thing we thought that we will go to this edit query and we will do add column and then we will create a custom column and all those things. That is also one of the approach, I think, Burjo, you were telling, but then in that it will add column in the existing table. So whenever you want to do or add anything in a table, any transformation in the table, you can go to add column and do whatever you want. But whenever you want to create a new table, you don't have to go ever in the add column tab, right? So that is one thing. So whenever you need to create a new table, you can go through the approach that Ben was telling, I guess, by going there, creating a new table and doing everything. But with that approach, what was the problem in this case particularly was that we had already M query and we want to use that. We don't want to create each column one by one, right? So that's why we didn't go with that approach. Otherwise, if we would have been asked to create a table or a column in a table from scratch, we could have gone through that approach also. That is not wrong. And the third thing is, and the last approach was this one, using blank query and all those things, and we ended up with this one. Now, if we want to add, let's say, one more column here using M query, then we can go here, add column, custom column. So if you go to custom column here, you will see every column that we have in the date table. If somebody wants to create one more column in this using M query, they can give the name, write the M query over here, and then do OK. What will happen from next time? One column will be added and that name will start appearing over here. Right? So that's how we created this date table. Now we will go to home, we will close and apply. And yes, we have now date table here. Good job. So we have all these here. Now let's see what is the third question. Properly relate the tables together. Now comes the relation part, right? We will pull this here anywhere we can keep. And now what all relations you think we should have between the tables? And also like other folks also talk like Salem, Eden, other two folks also, like you guys can also pitch in and tell like what should be the correct thing, right? What kind of relationship we should create here. Like the more you will talk, the more you will understand, right? Because you will start thinking like what should we do? Go on. Anybody?
Yeah,
Ma'am,
you can
we can,
connect. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
ma'am,
Okay.
we can connect our player table to date table for I mean finding the age regarding to that.
Player table to date table. What will be the key, Saubhagya?
Ma'am, age. I mean,
But we don't have
there
age
is not
here,
a
right? Because under age, what is the data type of age? Like, will you be able to join age with the any of the column here? If you go here, if you have confusion, what you can do? Why is this coming? How can I minimize this thing?
Move it up on the top.
Let's go to player.
ma'am, I mean, where is date of birth column? So we are
Yeah.
connect our date table and find out the age of the player.
But they said that we join a player assessment where the date of birth is there.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
player
makes
assessment.
sense. This makes sense.
And
Date to date of birth. Yeah.
we
Anyone
can join
else?
with the date table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that.
So,
Date to date of birth. Anyone else?
okay.
Salem, you were saying
Yeah.
something?
No, I was about to say that dates
Okay.
with date.
So everybody agree, like we should do date to date of birth?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see the format. What all format we have. How can I minimize this thing? This is creating a problem. Let me
Exit it up on your.
let me do. Eden, you are saying something?
There is exit button on your left-hand side. Can't you exit it out? Yeah, that one.
This one is not working, Eden, for me. I'm trying this one since last 10 minutes. Okay, what all we can do? Let me do this thing. Let me create a new column and again this will pop up and then I will, yeah, now this will work, no? Yeah, and then I'll delete this column. In Power BI, if nothing works, do like this. This is like pure. Okay, let it be. Yeah, so now date of birth and date column. That's what you guys were telling, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's try that out. So we have under date of birth under player assignment, right? Under player assignment, we have date of birth and under date table, we have date, right? So let's see, under date table, we have date. What is the format? Like here we can see it's 2 January 1967, right? If we go under player assignment, how is the date of birth looking like? Date of birth 1967. The format is same date format, right? So then like before joining anything, any column with any column in the table, just check the format, date for data format of that column, right? If that is matching, then only join it. Otherwise, what will happen? If one is character, let's say, and one is numeric, it won't work. Okay, So now we will create a relationship. How to do it? Anyone?
So we don't change the data type into
We are
the,
not going to change the data type in this case because both were having the same. If you see both, we just checked, right? Both has the same data type, which and the format is also same. So we won't do anything here. Otherwise, we would have been changing the data type first and then creating the relationship.
You can just drag it and drop it on the other side on the player assignment.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just drag it, go
Yeah.
all the, and then release it. There you
Good.
go.
Yeah. So this is how we create a relationship. The other long approach you guys
Yes.
must be knowing is
You
going
go to
through
file
message relation.
and new.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Manage where?
Yeah. Click on manage relationship.
Yeah.
And then we should choose new.
Okay.
Choose data table from the top.
Okay.
And then the column we used was date. You choose date.
We were using player assignment table for getting
And
date of birth, right?
yeah, on both cases, we highlight the columns we choose and cardinality.
Yeah.
Quantum money. Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
And it should be single.
Yeah.
And I guess make relationships active and okay.
Yeah.
Cannot
Got
be
it.
active because there's
Yeah.
already a relationship between those two
Correct.
columns.
Yeah, because we already
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise,
So
this way
this is the second approach. You guys are absolutely right, on point. So we already have created a relationship. That's why it's showing there's already a relationship. If we will delete this particular thing, then we can go through this approach and create a relationship, right? So you guys are correct. So cancel in this case because we already have relationship over here and it's looking fine. Okay, now this thing you must be knowing, like if you go hover over here, you will see like which column from each table is connected to which column from other table. So that's why if you hover over here, what are we seeing? Like date column from date table is getting connected to date of birth column from player assignment table, right? So that's what is happening. Now tell me, like what else? What all relationship we need to make? Is there any flaw in this relationship? Do you think like we should change any relationship?
No.
Anyone?
do we have to change the both direction to a single direction?
Okay.
One-to-one.
Anyone else? No one? Okay. So what are we seeing over here? This player assignment table, is it connect with which all table this one is connected? Tell me first.
to the
Player.
Player. Now, let's say we want, there is one question also. Let's look at that. Okay, let's look at this question. Add a clustered bar chart showing weighted average age by club. Okay, so we want weighted average age by club. Okay, so now the club name, from where can you get?
From club table.
Club table. And average age, from where can you get?
For ages from player.
From player, right?
Yes.
So these two tables are connected, so that should work. So we are fine. We are fine with that. Okay. Now player assignment table. So player assignment table, what all we have? We have, and also one
Club
thing,
ID.
we have club ID, we have club joint, all these IDs we have, which, and if you go here down, only these many player assignments. So basically this table is for all those players. Each of these player is assigned to which club, when did it join, what is the date of birth, and all those information we have here, right? So now you think, like, if we have player assignment table, right? So we would need the player details, right? To basically, or we would need player name, everything regarding to related to player, so that we would get to know like which club it belongs to, right? So we have this particular relationship with the player table, in which we have player ID related to ID in the player assignment table. So what it means, like all the IDs, and it's one-on-one, right? So first one ID from player will map to the ID in player assignment table, and we will pick information of that player from player assignment, like which club it belongs, which nationality it belongs, and everything, right? Now, since we could have done this one and joined a nationality ID with this particular table, but do we need that? Is that needed in this case?
No, ma'am.
Let's say somebody is asking for a particular player, what is the nationality and when did he join the club? What will you do? Using this player table, we have the ID for each player. Since this one is related to nationality table, we would get to know like this player, what is the nationality of this player. And since this table is connected with the club ID and everything, like when did club join and everything. So you will get to know what is the, when did he join the club and what is the club ID. So in any ways, like we are getting all the information for this player. So this particular filter, how it will flow, we will get the information from each of the table if we need the name, club name, position name, nationality name, all these, and we will get the we will get the details of that particular player from player assignment table, right? Because this table is connected to player assignment as well. So we don't need to individually connect player assignment with all these tables, because anyways the relationship is there using this. If you pull nationality name and let's say ID and club joined, then also it will work, because that thing is flowing from here, so it should work, right? So we don't need to create separate relationship with each of these table to player assignment. The way this filter is flowing, we will get all the information. And for each relationship, we see there is directional filter, right? So now what's happening is it's one-to-one. What does it mean? One-to-one relationship. What does it mean? Anyone?
One-to-one relationship is one player has one ID, one age, and one position, one nationality, and he can speak all language, basically.
Correct. So basically what will happen in this case, we have one-to-one relationship here. That means, like, you think one player can have only one nationality, right? It will not be multiple. Correct. So that's why, like, we will have like only one value for each row. It will not repeat. In the data table, usually how it works is like multiple values, like this ID will repeat. This ID will repeat, and then we will have like one-to-many relationship, which means that one value, one ID is repeating in this particular table. That's when we will have one-to-many, right? Because what will happen, one ID or one value will be repeating over here in multiple rows, then it will be one to many. Now in this case, it will not happen, right? Because ID wise, because here we have ID and ID means player ID. So for one player, there will be only one nationality. Here also we will have only one value. One ID will not repeat because ID is the granularist field here, right? So this will be unique column. ID will be unique. There will be no repetition over here. So that's why we have one-on-one relationship over here. You got my point? Like
Yes.
when do we have one to many and when do we have one to one? So we will see what is the primary key. Here, the primary key is ID and primary key, you know, are the unique, contains unique rows, uniquely defined rows through primary key. Now ID is unique. There is no repetition, right? And then here also we will have like one ID with one nationality. There won't be multiple values over here. So that's why we have like one-on-one relationship over here and it will work. And since it's one-on-one, that's why we can, even if we will do bi-directional, it won't hurt us because this table is filtering this nationality or this table is filtering this player table. Doesn't matter because the relationship is one-on-one. Okay, so any question? Now you guys ask me and I'll stop talking. You guys ask me questions. Anyone, any doubt? Borzo, you will have to explain this thing maybe in the interview. So you would need to understand everything, what's happening here.
So right? Here I just understand what he said is the ID in the player, it connects to all this, that makes it in a one-to-one relation because in the club they have a club name and ID and position name and ID. So all this, they connect only with one, with ID only. But if you go dev table and player assignment, there is one to many.
Correct, because what will happen under this, right?
The date,
Even this one, date to date of birth, right? We could have done one-to-one. It won't hurt. It won't hurt in this case, right? Because date of birth, again, this one is like single values. It's not repeating. So we could have gone to, now what will happen? Let's see. Let's say we have like multiple folks taking birth on one of the dates, right? Multiple folks, like 2-3 folks are getting birth on the same day. Date of birth is same, right? So in that case, what will happen? Let's look at the table, then you will understand more. Let me do this ascending, right? Now it's this is player assignment table. Let me go to the date table. Okay, so here we have dates like this, and then under player assignment we have dates. So we could have done one-to-one relationship as well over there, because what will happen? This date, this 2 January 1967 will be mapped to 2 January 1967 over here, right? And then we will pull all the information from date table, right? We'll pull all the information from date table. Now this one is not repeating. No value is repeating over here. No value is repeating, like no particular value is repeating over here. So even if we do one-to-one in this case, it won't hurt. Because what will happen 26 Feb 1967, let's say this 26 Feb 1967 has multiple values over here. Then what will happen? Then we need to have like star multiple, like we will pull one to many here, because here it will map to many of the rows,
One
right?
birthday, date of birth to many players.
Many players' date of birth, because what will happen, let's say you have 26 Feb for this particular ID and then again 26 Feb for this particular ID. It might happen, right? Like one player is actually, sorry, multiple player is getting birth on the same date. It might happen, right? Let's say like 6244 ID, having the player having 6244 ID is getting born on 28 January 1978. It might happen that 9091 or some other player is getting born on the same date, right? So what will happen in this case? Then what we will need to do is we will pick one value. So relationship will be 1 here, and we will go to player assignment and do star multiple, because it will map to multiple rows, right?
Yes.
So that's why automatically when we pulled date to date of birth, it gave us one to many. Because logically, if you think, it might happen that there can have like, because for this table, date of birth is not the primary key. What is the primary key? Primary key is ID. With ID, it will be unique, but we can have multiple values in date of birth, right? So for this table, primary key is ID and date of birth is, and date of birth can have duplicate values. And that's why we are having here star, right? But in all these tables, why we don't have one to many relationship? Because ID is unique value. If you go to player table, this ID is something which is uniquely defined, right? It is like one value in each row. There is no duplicates here, right? And if you go to any of these tables, club table or nationality table, this is also one value. There's only one value in each of the rows. There are no duplicates. So what's happening when you join nationality with player, right? Player. So it will be 1 to 1, because there will be only one value in each of the row. There are no duplicates. So in each of these tables, we have one-on-one, because we are creating relationship with the unique or with the primary key of both the table. You got my point? What's happening?
Yes.
Anyone, any question? Like why we have one-on-one in these four and why we have one to many in this particular case? I'll repeat myself. We have one to many in this case because the date of birth field under player assignment is not a primary key. The value under date of birth can repeat, and that's why we have one value is getting mapped to multiple. We have one to many relationship in this case. Why we have one to one relationship in each of these? Because let's take club versus player, relationship between club to player. The value under ID field in each of these table is unique, because that is the primary key for each of the table. So that's why we have one to one relationship here. Okay. Now again, there is a problem in this relationship. Can anyone identify what's happening here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, maybe a multiple player of any nation, and that time the nationality ID is same for all. I mean, and the club ID is also repeated here in player table. I mean, multiple player hold the same club ID.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So ma'am, this is the problem.
Anyone, do you think, okay, Saubhagya, I got your point, but there is one big problem happening over here. What is that? Anyone can identify? Just look at the relationship. What is it actually relating to? The biggest problem, you know, what is happening over here, and I was not telling from that time. I was just trying to show you the relationship, how it's working, like why we have one-on-one over here. Now look at this relationship. What is happening here? We have club ID which is getting mapped to player ID. Will you have any merge over here? Will club
Can
ID
it be connected to the club name? But the data is different, right? So I don't think it works.
It won't work. You guys think club ID, let's look at the values, then you will get clear. And please tell me if you are getting confused. I'll slow down my pace and then will repeat myself. Okay. Let's look at the club. What all IDs we have under club name? We have values starting from 1 and going till, let's say 701, because we have 701 rows right here. We have 701 rows under club name. We are mapping club with the player, right? What is the relationship? Club ID is getting mapped to player ID, right? Now look at this. Go to player. Look at the IDs. What all IDs we have here? We have starting from first, going till, like there are multiple rows over here, which is like 19 to 39, like that. Now, you tell me this ID, player ID, and this is getting mapped to club ID, right? So what will happen? Let me pick like the first, this thing. Okay. Let me go to club and pick first. In this case, it will work. I think that's how they have given. That's how they have given. So what will happen? We have like merging. Club ID is getting merged to player ID. That's why it will work. What it will do? It will pick this particular ID, ALAN, whatever his is, and it will assign this club name this to the player. So now ID has a overlap. ID has a overlap with the ID in club table. So that's why it will work here. In this case, it will work here. You guys understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So there should be
margin.
margin.
I'm kind of confused. Can you repeat it one more time?
Sure. So basically what I was trying to tell is, see here, in each of the relationship, what was the relationship created? The club ID was getting mapped to player ID, right? So usually what will happen? Usually what will happen? Multiple player can be in one club, right? Multiple player can be in one club. So there should be something under this table, player table, which would have been called as club ID, right? So then what we could have done is we could have joined this ID with that club ID. But in this case, the relationship is getting created between club ID and player ID. This is the player ID in this table. Under player table, the ID column that you are seeing is player ID. And under club table, that ID you are seeing is club ID, right? So what's the problem here is, what the problem I was thinking was that there will be no merge between player ID and club ID. That was the confusion, right? Like, let's say player ID is starting from 101 till 111, like that. Let's say we have 10 player starting with 101 to 111, right? Or 110. So that is the player ID. Now club ID can be 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 clubs, or let's say 10 clubs. We will have like in this case, let's say two or 3 clubs. So let's say your club ID starts from 1, 2, 3. So when in that case, if we would have merged club ID with player ID, we would not have gotten anything. We would not have gotten the club ID for each of the player, right? Because the values won't be matching. because what we are doing is we are mapping player ID with the club ID here. You understood?
Yes.
So that was the thing I was telling. When I looked while talking, when I looked, I saw that player ID is getting mapped to club ID. Although relationship is correct, 1-to-1 only, because club ID in the club table is unique. Like one row, each row is unique. That's why we have one written over there. That means one unique rows. It defines unique rows. Now in player ID also, player table also, ID is unique because that is player ID. So one information of one player will be unique in each of the rows. So that's why we have one here. And that's why we are seeing relationship as one-on-one, right? But then is that the correct relationship getting created? Because we don't have club ID over here. We need to map club ID, like ID from club table to club ID in some another table. But that is not happening. We are mapping club ID with the player ID in this case. So will that work? That was the question. And when we saw here, what we saw under club name, under ID, we have values starting from 1 to 701. And when we see under player, we have ID starting from 1 to 1000. Now, what will happen? It will get merged. It will get merged for 701 rows, right? But then what next? What will happen to next of the rows? Let's say someone with ID, let's say someone with ID 1000. What will happen to that row? It will not assign any of the club. Let's say, let me pick this row. What will happen here? It will not get any merge because under club ID, we don't have any value with 1000. Right? We don't have any value with 1000 under club ID. So when we look at this thing, player table with ID 1000, so greater than 701 will not get any club because we are mapping club ID with the player ID. That is the issue here. That is the issue here. Although we will get merged for those 701 rows, but that is not correct because we need to identify for each of the player what is the club. For each of the player, what is the position, right? So let's say, let me look at are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys tell me, is this relationship correct? Club ID with player ID?
No, ma'am.
Others?
Yes.
Said club ID with the player ID. No, the ID.
Yeah, club ID with the player ID. Is this correct relationship? Relationship by mean, do we need to like, is this fine having ID column from the club table mapped to ID column from the player table? If yes, why? If no, why? Tell me.
I will say yes, because all of the IDs are sequential numbers from 1 to 700. So in a club, there is uniquely identified club ID number for a position. They have their own, but all the IDs are sequential for the club position, nationality, language, and player. So that makes it okay to connect it that way. Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
I think she's
We can hear you.
disconnected. And I agree with what you just said.
Hello, sorry, I had bad internet. I just came.
All
Yeah.
right.
So this relationship is correct or not? Yeah, somebody was telling it's fine because we have like sequential and we saw that we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 till 700, and so that this should work, right? Anyone who feels
Yeah,
that this thing is not correct
if we
or
had
this
a
thing is correct?
club ID, that would have been a perfect, like one-to-many. But in this case, this is the only thing that we can relate, these two tables, the ID. But
Okay.
yeah, that's the only thing we can do. But like you said, if the ID number is 1,000, that means we cannot merge it.
Okay.
I don't know
Now,
how.
I'll tell you, don't worry, like why I'm talking about all this. So what is the problem with this thing? Did you guys understood that? So what is the problem? I'll tell you. This relationship is not correct and we should scrape this. I'll tell you why. In each of these, this is not correct. What's happening is, now I'm coming to the final answer, so that like whatever confusion you guys have, just keep it aside. I'll tell you what's happening exactly and why we should not do this. Okay. Now, looking at the relationship in one go, everybody will feel that this is correct, because what is happening? ID column under club is getting mapped to ID column under player. Everybody will think, okay, ID, fine. One-to-one relationship, fine. Let's do it. Go ahead, right? But what's happening here? Let's pick club table. Now, under club, we have 700 unique values. We have 701 unique values under club. That means we have 701 clubs over there with club name attached in this table, right? Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you go here, I'll show you also so that like it's easier for you guys to follow. Under club table, we have 701 rows, right? That means we have unique 701 clubs available. That is clear? Okay. Now we are mapping it with player table. Player table with ID column, right? Now, what is this ID? If you go to player table, okay, you will see this ID. What does player table means? Player table is the set of, or it contains all the data related to a particular player. Okay. So let's say first row, 1236. ID is 1236. What does it mean? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, that what we will do with second session from 9.
Oh, from second session for second. Saubhagya and Shivani, do you want like to continue here, or if you want to, Ravi, I just want to finish this in like 5 minutes. I'll finish and then tomorrow we can have. But
yeah, Saubhagya and Shivani, you can join that session.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later, Saubhagya, Shivani.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll explain this one to you. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So basically what's happening here is, yeah, under player table, if we see, right, what is this ID referring to? Anybody? What does 1236 means?
Does belong to one player.
Correct.
The player
So
ID.
this ID is for one player. This ID is player ID, and all the data that we have here is related to one player. So the ID column is primary key for this table. We have unique IDs, unique player ID in this table, right? This 1236 won't repeat. If you select, let's say any row 8, it will not repeat, because one player will have one ID and related to that player, all information is captured over here. That's why we are calling it as player table. Fine.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Are you guys there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is clear, right? For player table, this ID is the primary key. We have unique values over here in this table. That is clear, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if what we were doing, we were merging this ID with the ID present in club table, right? What will happen in this case? Just think here, we have only till 701 rows, right? So if we will map this ID with player ID, the mapping will happen only till 701, right? The merging will happen only till 701. What will happen to these players? Will they get assigned any club?
No,
Can
they
we
in the
can
club.
we bring club name for this particular ID using this?
No,
No.
No,
it would be
right?
no. Yeah.
Right? So out of 19,239 rows, we will get merged for only 700. But what is the intent? We want to know the club for each of the player. We want to know each of these player belongs to which club, right?
Yes.
Is that correct or not?
So let me ask you this. So is there a possibility like, many players belong to one club?
Yes,
Okay,
that
but
could happen, and that will happen because we have only 701 club and we have 19,000 people.
Could you filter the club jersey number and make it only not duplicated?
No, we don't have to do all these things. So then
No, I just wanted to see if we have like 700 values.
Okay, fine, we can do that. I'll show you that.
Oh.
We have till 99. So don't try to force fit this thing, right? Here we have only ID and nothing else. We can't do anything to this one. So now what we need to do, what we can do. You guys understood like all this relationship is not correct, right? Yeah. This will not be correct. Let's pick only the first one. Club is not correct because what will happen, although it will get mapped, but only 700 rows will get club. And then the rest player will not be assigned any of the club because there won't be any matching.
The merging should be with player assignment.
Sorry, Eden?
The merging should be with the player assignments, not with the player.
You are right. Like we can't merge player ID with the club ID. Are you getting that point? Player ID is identifying individual player and club ID is for individual club. Merging both of them doesn't make sense. Although we will get merged for 700 rows, but that is an indicator that that is not a correct thing that we are doing, right? We should merge always like equivalent column, right? If we are merging club ID, we should merge or we should map it with club ID column. So we will find out like where we have club ID column. If we look into player assignment, we have club ID, right? And if you go here under player assignment, let's go here. Under club ID, you will see value till 701. That's it.
Okay.
And then here it will repeat also. Why it's repeating? Can somebody tell? It is repeating because multiple player. This is unique key for this particular table. ID is player ID here. So multiple player can belong to one club.
Okay.
Is it making sense now?
Yes. So it was supposed to be mapped to player assignment.
It was all these lookup tables are supposed to be mapped to player assignment. Because we can't just blindly look at ID, okay, let's match. And that's why it said that don't believe on the relationship that Power BI creates.
I see.
Is this correct to everyone? Like, are you guys understanding? Any doubts?
So can I go ahead and delete the the current relationship and map it to the player assignment?
That's what we are going to do actually now.
Okay. All right.
We'll delete this. This relationship is not correct. Oh, what did I do? 1 minute. I deleted, I think, player assignment only. Oh God. I deleted player assignment only. Let me bring it again. It came. Okay, so let's delete all these relationships. My delete key is not working, I feel so. No.
Manage relationships, maybe. Want to go with that way?
Yeah, I did like right click and delete because it was not working, that delete thing. Otherwise, like usually what happens, you will click on delete and it will get deleted. That's fine. Like, so you guys understood why we are deleting this, right? Any doubt, anyone? Ask questions. Now what we will do? We will merge this ID with this club ID. Now it will be one-to-many. Why it's one-to-many? Because for one particular ID, multiple clubs will be there. Club ID is not the unique key here, not the primary key, right?
Yeah, one-to-many.
Then we will add this position ID with the position ID over here, nation position ID. If you guys have any confusion, right, you can go here and check. Under position, how many rows do we have? Let's see. Under position, we have 29 rows. Let's go to player assignment. Under position, how many rows we have? We have 29. We are doing right. We are doing right thing, right? So we map position ID with the nation position ID. If you hover here, over here, it will do one-to-many. This looks correct, right? Then we will pick nationality and put to nationality ID. And then we will pick league to league ID. Is this correct? Yes. And then we will merge date to date of birth. And then this one we can have, this one is correct because ID, this player assignment, whatever ID we have in player assignment, that is player ID, is getting mapped to player ID in player table. So that is fine, right? Even if it's one-to-one, that won't hurt because in the ID column is having unique value in both the table. So I think we are good with the relationship. Now ask as many questions as you can. Why we have done this? Why the previous relationship was not correct? Any question you guys have, please ask. Just forget whatever we discussed because we discussed a number of things. Why it's one-on-one, why it's not one-to-many, and multiple things. Just forget everything. Remember the last part that we discussed. Why we have done this, why this is correct and previous version was not correct. I want each one of you to tell me like 2-3 liners, like why we have done this and why we have not done the previous thing. So that like I can understand that you guys followed everything.
Yes, this is for obvious reason, you know, for the club, the ID number is limited to 709. It's mapped to the player which have the ID have, you know, almost 19,000 plus. So after 701, the number 701, the ID number, so he cannot merge it or he cannot map it to the player.
Correct. So, and the both the columns are having like this different type. Although the numbers are matching till 701, but the intent or the values that is over there, we should not match that because one is club ID and one is player ID. So that we should not do. So one thing to understand, as you mentioned, is correct. Like we will get only 700 merging and then we will not get anything for the rest of the folks. But do we want, but will that be the correct merging? Let's suppose we have like only till 701 rows in player table, right? even though we should not merge that, right? Because what will happen, like player ID will get mapped to club ID, which is not correct at all. You should always look for the same type of column to get to do merging. Never do, like if the values are same in both the columns, merge it. The meaning should be there. Like if we are merging player ID, we should always match with the player ID. We should not match player ID with club ID or nationality ID or league ID, even though the values are same, right? Because both values are depicting different things. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that thing was wrong. All the mapping that was being like that was present earlier here was wrong, because in each of the tables at the top, we were matching those ID with the player ID, which is not correct. We should map position ID with the position ID column in any of the table if it's present. We should match nationality with the nationality column in any of the table if it's present, right?
Got it.
And why we have one too many over here? Because multiple folks can be present in one club, right? So if we are having club ID over there, there are multiple rows present. And that's why we have star in front of player assignment table, and we have one in front of club table, because we only have like 700 rows in club table, because that ID is unique. That is primary key. We have like distinct rows over there. Under player assignment table, we have multiple rows related to club ID, because ID is the primary key. ID is the player ID, which is the primary key, and multiple IDs can belong to one club. Multiple players can belong to one club, or multiple players can have one nationality, right? So nationality ID will also repeat. Club ID will also repeat. Position ID will also repeat. League ID will also repeat. So that's why we have star in front of player assignment for all the 4 tables that we are doing over here. Plus the date table that I explained earlier only. Why we have star in front of date of birth? Because multiple players can get born on the same date. That could happen. Even though it's not happening in this case, let's say, that could happen. So logically, it should be one to many. And why we have 1 to 1 under player assignment and player? Because both the tables are getting mapped on ID, player ID. That is a unique key in both the table, and we will have distinct values in each row, and that's why we have 1 to 1. I know this is a lot to absorb.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's a good example.
Very good one. Yes.
Yeah. So now, if you look at the question, properly relate the tables together. Have you guys done it, and do you understand what you have done?
Yes.
Very good. I think we have done the most important thing for this assignment, the relationship, and now all the data is ready for us. Now the next question, we will not do it today. Tomorrow we will spend 2-3 hours and then we will finish it, because rest of the things are very easy. By easy, I mean like now what all you have to do: set data type, hide ID field, rename fields, add slicers. So these are the things that we can do. But the creating relationship and working on the data, this was the most important part to understand. This is what is, if somebody will ask you, you should be able to explain why we have one to many, why we have one to one, what is primary key, what is foreign key, what is lookup table, what is data table. All these things that we have done today, this was like very important concept, and this one you guys saw like how we are doing it, right?
Yes.
So I think we are set to proceed for the next class, and now it should be little easier, because now it will be no brainer. You just have to follow the steps and you will do it, right?
Yeah.
For today, I think we are good, and I know I have dragged this particular
Thank you.
session for 1 more hour, like 40 minutes, but I think that was needed, right?
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
It was a great.
Okay. Take care. Good night.
Bye.